This is capable in many roles more than just a combat knife. This is an inexpensive version of historical sub-hilt fighting knives such as Gold Steel's version of the Black Bear Classic. This is a pretty rare example of the OSI. This is actually in VG1 Sanmai steel. It's currently available in AUS 8. And as a general, camping knife, hunting knife, survival knife, tactical knife, AUS 8 would definitely be more than capable of its role. But Sanmai was just a little step above AUS 8, and when I saw the deal the guy was offering for this, I just could not resist, and I just had to have it. So this was a very intense summer with this blade. This was actually a horticulturalist blade, believe it or not. Having a really big blade like this for slicing large veggies like Swiss chard and cabbage and many other things is quite useful. It's got an 8.25-inch long blade. It's huge. You got about half an inch of ricasso here, which is really good for choking up in the sub-hilt style handle. You've got a very sharp spine from the Sanmai blade as a part of the process of making it. You can see all the scratches that I batoned like thousands, no, not thousands of times, but hundreds of times I've been using this blade to, split up wood and make kindling and whatnot. It's been slicing veggies, been slicing meat. It's been used as a kitchen knife, butcher's knife. It's done pretty much everything. The VG1 Sanmai is holding up very well. You can see on the handle here, it does need a cleaning. Got very dirty all summer long. So I think some hot water with some soap and an old toothbrush that you don't use anymore should get into that diamond checkered handle no problem. The diamond checkering is still very grippy, and so is the ribbing on the bottom and the top of the handle. It's got a really nice palm swell, and these handles that Cold Steel makes just absolutely melt into your hand. I've got a lanyard, just a shock cord lanyard through the lanyard tube there. There's absolutely no sign of warpage or huge chipping in the blade. It takes so much abuse. The sheath is nice too. I really like Cold Steel Secure X sheaths. I'm going to mess around eventually and lower this down so I could have some strapping running through the top portion of the belt loop and have some shock cord at the bottom to turn it into some sort of so I can mount it into a boot a little more easily without the top of the belt loop flopping around. Or I could even use it as, say, a leg mounted knife. So, this part will wrap around the top of my calf and some shock cord at the bottom with a cinch so that it stays around the bottom of my ankle. So this would be really nice on the hip as well when you're going through the woods, because for an 8-inch blade and it's over a foot long, it's 13.3 inches overall, and it's only 8.5 ounces. That's the most amazing part about this blade, is how light it is and how nimble and easy to carry. It's definitely one of my favorite fixed blades. Let's start with the Cold Steel Sanmai OSI, about a 1/4 inch thick or so, or just a tad thinner than 1/4 inch thick, laminated VG1 Sanmai steel. Give it the bigger log. that worked really well. Frozen solid logs, minus 20 degrees Celsius. Breaking my baton here. Spine still straight. See that splitting? And the full flat grind. I think Saber's a little bit better, Saber grind or Scandi grind, but still works. That actually just broke off on its own. Let's carve this a little. Even with the guard here, got this big ricasso area on this over 8-inch blade. And still choke up pretty well on it. Definitely a winner in my book. So after trying to use these elastic bands with buckles, that wasn't exactly the way to go for the OSI leg carry system that I'm trying out. Stronger nylon bands are much better because when you mount this on the leg, this just has way too much give for when you're drawing it out of the sheath. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna buy some black nylon bands and attach buckles instead of these pull-through slots. So basically I'm going to combine a little bit of both these systems together. I think that's really the way to go. Mounting the blade on the top frog, I'd call it, on the Maxpedition Sitka. You can just squeeze by the zip tie tops, and then these will act as a bit of a stopper for if you want to reverse draw out the blade. I'm going to mount it onto my right calf, imitating my intent of carry for this blade out in the woods. Okay, so you want to loosen it up. There. That's what it looks like. Now I'm just going to tighten it a bit. I'll bring the buckles over to this side so you can see what I'm doing. Now, it's not a big deal. A lot of guys, you probably want them facing the same way and whatnot, but I'm going to have these tightened. Then just a simple one loop. More than enough to keep it there. Tuck that under. So I got full range of motion. It's going to have a little bit of play up and down because of the zip ties on the straps. extremely comfortable. Doesn't feel like it's there. I'm not too tight on my muscles either. Dogs can't access it, that's nice. And crouch down.